Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Cat on Wheels podcast. I'm your host, Kat, and today we are at the Black Rose Limited. Black Rose is a limited company that is technology oriented and with a marketing background. And today we happen to be at the Black Rose garage. They've been kind enough to host us and to allow us to use their space. So welcome all, and I hope you get to enjoy. Today in this episode, I'm with Aisha. Welcome, Aisha.
Thank you so much
How are you
for
feeling
having
today?
me. A bit nervous, but yes, I'm
You're
happy
nervous?
to. I'm happy to be here.
Even after the camera rehearsals that we've been planning, setting up and telling you, don't be shy, don't be stressed.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so you had mentioned you started riding. Your first bike was a CBR 600.
Yes.
Where did you get the nerve to start on a 600? Because when I was starting, I was advised against that, and I've interviewed a couple of people who were telling me, you know what, starting on a bigger CC is not a problem.
Yes, it's not a problem, but for me, per se, I could say that it's my ambitiousness that made me want to try it out. First of all, beginning to ride, it was Ken's idea. I never had any passion whatsoever for biking. I didn't know any bikers until now I visited his garage for the first time. And
Which year is this?
This was in 2020, just when like Corona was starting.
Was kicking in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I visited his garage for the first time, and man, the bikes that I saw there, they were so crazy. Nothing that I've seen before, and I couldn't even imagine myself like ever even riding one. So I just began like working with him step by step, and then now he guided me, and then before I knew it, he gave me the bike and told me, here are the keys. Do
Just
what
like
I've
that?
taught you. Yeah.
Oh, after
Yeah.
teaching you.
Yeah, after teaching me, yeah.
Okay. I thought he just gave you the keys.
No,
and
no,
told
no,
you,
no.
"Shia."
No. I did a lap with that bike. He actually told me to bring it here to his place at the garage.
You alone.
Yes, I was alone. He was just following me behind, but he
Oh,
just gave me the keys and was like, you know what? You take it home by yourself. I was so scared. First of all, I'm short. I'm not even that tall. And then the bike is heavy. So there were so many questions that was running through my mind. Like, am I able to do this? Am I able to not do this? I've done this before, but I wasn't so confident. But now this other person is giving me the confidence.
And the
And
psych.
in the psych. So
Interesting.
that's what built it up. And then now I was able to actually ride it for the first time, and I was so proud of myself.
So you rode it home.
Yes, I did.
So you used thicker road.
No.
The back route.
Just the back route.
So the
back
garage
route.
at this time, you said it was where is it? Roysambu.
Yes,
Just somewhere near Mirema, those sides. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I've never been there. I only had it because I started riding in Juicy too. So probably. Oh yeah, that's very interesting. And currently, you're riding which bike?
So I'm riding a KTM 390 Duke.
Okay.
Yes, that's the current bike I'm riding.
And the CBR, you rode it for how long?
Because it wasn't ours, I didn't ride it for so long. I was just using the practice bikes that he had. So he had another ZMR that I was also now practicing with it, like at the field. Once in a while, I'd get out and go to the public roads. Though I was scared again, like going kukutana na magari, like that was really scary.
Yeah, it gets scary until you get used to it.
Exactly, yeah.
And you've never been into any accidents.
Crazy enough, no, I've not been to any accident.
And you're lucky, especially with the CBR.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're starting on that one. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not saying necessarily you have to be in an accident when you're starting on a CBR, but in most cases,
Exactly, yeah.
it gets crazy, especially. But
It does,
I
yeah.
think it's good because you had someone who was giving you tips and watching over
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
Would you say it's necessarily, is it an advantage to start on a bigger CC, or what's your opinion?
I wouldn't say it's an advantage just because I didn't have a slightly smaller bike at the moment. That was the bike that was available.
That was the one available.
That was the one that
And
was
you didn't mind, you
available.
took the risk.
I took the risk. I decided to take the risk and not, rather than not trying at all.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
And now when you move now with the KTM Duke and the CBR, any difference do you feel? Do you miss? Would you prefer a sport bike?
I personally don't prefer sport bikes.
Why is that?
Okay, the speed does not thrill me as much, but I do like
Speed does not thrill you.
Not really. I feel like the experience for adventure is much more interesting than just the speed. Like where are you rushing to? Like with this bike, where exactly are you going to that will make you be like, oh, I've seen this place. It looks really nice. I've climbed this place with this bike. Adventure is more of looking at going to places where you'd never think you'd go before. But with sport bikes, it's so limiting. You have to be on very straight roads. You have like the path has to be clear for you to actually like go with that bike. It's really limiting.
I feel like you're dissing us. Are you saying everyone who wants a sports bike, they're just in a rush?
Not really, but I feel like everybody has their own venture. If there are people who like sports bikes, well and good. But for me, it's more of adventure. I like to travel, see other places, not get tired, my back bending.
In short, you're talking about shortcuts. You're looking for the easy way out.
Not really the easy way out.
Taking up challenges is not your thing.
Okay, that's why I'm saying adventure. But if you're looking for a challenge, take an adventure bike, and then you'll see what a challenge is.
You're saying a sport bike is not challenging?
It is not challenging.
What do you mean?
I mean in terms of going to very rocky roads, going to very hard terrain, going to places where it is not accessible, but it's only accessible with certain types of bikes. So I'm talking about, let's say, for example, we're going for a road trip to maybe the Aberdares. We went for a road trip recently towards the Aberdares.
Yeah.
And trust me, what I experienced with my KTM Duke, you can't experience it with the sport bikes. You can't even go and dare with those roads, how they were with a sports bike. You can't.
So you don't think a highway attack is challenging?
Even if it's challenging, my question is to guys who ride sports bikes. Okay, what is your end goal? Like when you're riding,
speed. That's
your end goal. Like for you,
I'm not speaking on behalf of the other boarding sports bike. I'm just saying, like, I'm assuming because it's true. It's a fast bike. It's called a super bike. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like as I said, like everybody has their own venture, and if that's the goal for the guys who ride sports bikes, well and good. But for my goal is going out for adventure, discovering new places, going to hard terrain, knowing how difficult other places could be and how to overcome those challenges using the bike I currently have. And mostly that bike that I have and other adventure bikes, because that's what I'm passionate about.
In short, you're saying climbing mountains without leaving your bike. Uko chini.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I get your point. Well, your experience must have been good, I'm sure. So you started riding in 2019.
Yeah.
And now we're 2020, 2021. That's like 4 or 5 years,
yes.
Is it? Yeah. So the experience has been good so far.
Yeah.
Recently, you're nominated as the women rep of nyumba kumi. Nyumba kumi is now a nation.
Yes.
It's like a movement.
It's a whole movement.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure that's a very big task.
It is a big task. Yes, it's a big task.
We're going to have our first meetup of the year.
Yeah.
But probably by the time this podcast is airing, I think it will be a week after.
Yeah.
What plans do you have for the members, especially the women now who are into biking? Most women are riding, but they're not that much out there.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm pretty sure with the women rep position, those are some of the challenges you're going to face, and you're supposed to address them and see how. So what are your plans?
This being a new year, I'd like for the women, like we should be having like meetings and just discussing how we're going to have like a group, like us as the Nyumba Kumi for women. We need to be having like a small group ride once in a while, just to boost everyone's confidence and know that each woman in this group can be able not only just to go as a whole group, but just ourselves, we can be able to empower ourselves and go and decide to go for a trip somewhere, even if it's not like a far distance, just to have that alone time with ourselves and discuss like the challenges we face as women bikers, what can we do to improve it in our Nyumba Kumi. Yes, those are some of the things I would like to change, and also to have in the Nyumba Kumi to come this year.
Are you talking about, when you talk about the nyumba kumi women, are you talking about you are a representative of Thika Road nyumba kumi women rep?
Yes.
Yeah, so is that going to be a limited thing, like for you, for instance, the things that you've mentioned as a plan? Does it mean it's only going to be limited to the women and Thika Road nyumba kumi, I'm assuming?
It is not only limited for starters. I'll start with the ones we have, just to see, the ones in Thika Road, just to see how we're going to do it, how it's going to be implemented. And then once it grows and it becomes actually something, we might venture it out to other women if they would like to join us, the movement, or anything else that will be willing to be taking part, whether it is a small event for women, whether it is coming here to the garage and learning how to make your own bike, or basic service,
That is nice. Do you think they'll be willing?
I hope so, because I feel like mandatory, like small things that you should know about your bike. Actually, I think every biker should know, Sa tumekwama mahali and you're just calling people left, right and center, you don't know what's going on,
Crying, you're calling people crying, saying, I'm stuck here, so help me. Yeah, I have a friend who, that happened sometime last year. Yeah. We're going for end of year ride and then she's calling everyone. I don't know, throttle cable may snap.
Yeah,
she doesn't know what to do. She's just crying.
Yeah, so in case of...
I think that's a very good idea and it's a very good initiative.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so this women rep thing, you already planned, eh?
Yeah, I'm actually motivated.
You have some tips, eh?
Yes.
You better show up tomorrow.
I will.
Yeah, to address. I really feel like, okay, there are many other biker groups for women. There's Ink Sisterhood. I had this WBA when I was interviewing you. Do you belong to any of them?
I do not.
You do not?
Yes.
How? You don't consider yourself? You don't identify as a female biker? These days, there's a lot of neutral things going on. So
I do identify as a female biker, but I'm not talking about the masses or any other person. This is just my personal opinion. Okay. But I just want to be, experience this bike journey, not necessarily by joining a certain group of people per se. If I'm invited to join the group, I'm not saying I'm going to refuse, but again, I'm not saying that I want to be in a certain group. I just want to be me.
Independent.
Yes, I just want to be me, because that is how I started. I started this journey. Nobody ever pushed me and told me, Aisha, you need to do biking. It is the best thing you'll ever experience. I just want to do this journey.
Are you saying if you belong to a group, they kind of control your movement and rides and everything?
Not really, but I don't want to particularly be in a certain type of group. That's it. There's no any personal or anything I've heard or anything. Being in a group for women is great, but at the same time, it always depends on your own personal attribute. Do you want to? Is it something that you feel like doing? Yeah.
So there's time factors.
Exactly.
And many other things involved.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, okay. So with the women rep, you said you want to teach them how to fix their own bikes.
Yeah.
You want to plan for rides and then discuss some of the challenges that are facing women in the biking community.
Yes.
In your opinion, what do you think are some of the challenges?
Some of the challenges, again, I've said would be like taking care of your own bike.
Most women don't.
Most women, I feel like they rely on men to just like, or maybe even just like the basic garage. Like, I feel like something like servicing your bike is something very basic.
You can do on your own.
You can do it. You can do it on your own. Changing the oil filter, changing the oil. That's something that you should be able to do on your own. Knowing which type of oil goes into your bike is very basic. That's something you should know. The type of oil filter is something you should know. Regular checkups. How often have you visited the garage? How often have you done service? Basic checkup and health check for your bike is something that you can be able to keep record on your own. So if somebody is able to learn it as early as now, it prevents you from further costs, na ni kitu ungejifanyia mwenyewe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you know how to fix your bike?
I would say I do know how to service.
You can service your bike.
I can service my bike.
Clutch cable ikatika, you may have an idea.
I may have an idea. Or I may have an idea. Or if something goes amiss, you can always, even if it's just asking for help, you can be able to gauge, okay, this is where the problem is coming from. I necessarily don't need to ask someone to come and pick up my bike. I might be able to solve it at the point there, or if worse comes to worse, I could ask for help.
But don't you think maybe for women it's lack of interest? Not every woman can fix their
That's
own bike.
the thing. But
So how are you going to motivate them to be convinced that you really need to know how to do this?
it takes initiative. If we all, like, for example, the way we organize like the pizza nights, how we've summoned them to come there, it should be the same way. If I say, let's at a particular date, let's meet at this time at the garage. We are going we're going to do basic elementary DIY training for you to know how to handle your own bike. No.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So those who are willing to come will come.
Yeah.
Those who are not willing,
it's also fine. Like,
No
we are not forcing anyone. It always has to come from you. Yeah.
Okay. What about women who are not doing sports bike? Mostly.
In terms of,
I see most women are not, like, it's only a few who are having sports bike. Some of them have off-roads like you.
mm-hmm.
Is it a thing, or also still lack of interest? Just the same way you said utaki kuchoka mgongo.
I'm not going to speak for them per se, because again, I don't know, maybe they have a different venture, maybe they want to experience adventure, and maybe they've tried a sports bike and they've seen they're not
Same reason.
Maybe they're not feeling the same adventure.
So anyway, you're mentioning about off-road adventures where you work.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it do they, you say that for you to work there you need to learn, you need to have a bike, or you mentioned something like that?
So off-road adventure has played a really big part in my riding journey, because after I started riding like the sports bikes, I ventured out into off-road, like motocross. I started doing classes with them. My riding and my confidence level in riding really improved, because motocross is a different, very, very different style of riding. It's more of like a bicycle which is motorized. It's a very light bike that needs a lot of focus. Okay, I'm not saying like any type of riding doesn't need focus. All types of riding need focus. So this one needs a lot of attention, because you're basically almost doing like stunts on this bike.
The whole time.
So it starts from the sitting, the standing, the jumping. So your mind has to always focus on what you're doing at all times, always looking ahead, looking at all the obstacles. How are you going to overcome the obstacles? The reason as to why I mentioned like you need to somehow know how to ride is because it is for your advantage as you work there, because you get lessons as well.
Oh, but it's not compulsory.
It's not compulsory. But if you'd like to, if you'd like to empower your skills for riding,
take advantage.
Yeah, you take advantage. Yeah, exactly.
So for you, when you joined there, you didn't have the KTM yet, or no?
No, I didn't have the KTM yet.
So that was like a motivating factor.
Exactly, yeah.
And then at that point now they offer training. So is it like they offer training to the staff?
Yes, they do.
For free now, that is.
Yes, so you get 1 class per week.
1 class per week?
Yeah.
And you did that for how long?
So you can imagine I joined in 2022 in July. So you can imagine how many classes I've been going for and how much it has improved my skills, not only off-road style, but also on-road. Because you can imagine when you're riding motocross, you're riding with a whole group of people. You don't know how these people are riding.
They're flying, you're also flying.
Yeah.
You might meet in the air.
Yeah, you might meet in the air. So precaution is always around you. So the same way you always envision like the cars, you just think they are people. So the moment you bump into someone, you can get a really bad accident. So it is you to always be focused.
I can imagine. I'm already picturing that situation. The air, and you meet with someone, poop.
Exactly.
Nasalimiana huko juu.
Yeah.
So where is the off-road adventures?
So the office is located along Bogani East Road in Karen. It's, let's say, 200 meters from Catholic University.
Okay. Yeah. And you use your bike to commute there daily from Thika Road to Karen?
Not necessarily, because I had to move to Langata because of the now work. Because before I got my KTM, I used to now commute every time. So it became a really big challenge to commute from Thika Road all the way to Karen. So I had to relocate for my convenience to go to
For
work.
your convenience.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was about to ask you, with the traffic, how do you maneuver?
Exactly.
Because the KTM is not a light bike.
Okay, yeah, it's not a light bike. It's not
very
a light
heavy,
bike.
yeah? And so far, your experience on that bike, especially during traffic, or generally too, how you?
Okay, I wouldn't say it's a really, really heavy bike. It's medium, I would say. It's more of a street bike, so it's not that heavy. Consumption wise, it's really good. It doesn't consume as much, and yeah, it's a good bike. Even traffic wise, you just penya kidogo, and then you just.
It looks easy when you do that.
It's not so easy because it's not a sports bike. Remember, it's not a big bike.
Imagine this is sports bike. This is how we do.
Okay, you can still do the same thing. Like if there's where you just overtake. I mean,
the KTM.
Yes, why not?
It's kind of.
No, not really.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking too much of a genius. It could be.
Yeah.
But so far it's serving you well, and
It is, yeah.
You wouldn't trade it for any other thing. Or do you have a dream bike? KTM inashikilia too.
Actually, my dream bike would be an adventure bike per se. Like
Any?
Not really any. I would love to have a BMW. A GS 1250 adventure. Because I've ridden that bike before and it is a really sweet bike.
You're pretty sure you can handle it?
I can handle it. There's nothing you can't handle so long as you know how to ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I like your confidence.
You have to have confidence.
I kind of see why you started with the CBS. Just like that, like India Eco. Okay, fine, bring it. Tutajulia uko mbele. Let me just start.
Exactly. Yeah.
So an off-road, I'm sure you have dreams of traveling.
Yes.
The world and stuff like that.
Yes.
Where's your first stop?
Yes. I'd like to do like the near basic countries. Let's say, for example, like Tanzania, Ethiopia, Rwanda. Now, the major trip now would be going all the way to South Africa, and possibly now different countries from there. Yeah.
With one set of clothes and
the clothes. Actually,
wash one, wear one.
Actually, for me, the clothes wouldn't even matter. For me, I'm going for the adventure. Unaweza nunua nguo mbele.
So this goes only to prove how adventure riders are dirty people. Very unhygienic.
Not really. I mean,
how
like,
do you travel with one cloth?
You can't travel with one cloth.
Well, that's what you just said.
What are the panniers for?
But I asked you and you said you don't even need clothes.
Yeah, I mean, like
most bikers, most off-road guys, they don't need clothes.
But like, they have so many like panniers. Even if you go to a different country,
panniers is for spare parts. Okay. And food.
Do you know how many boxes?
Like water.
You have how many boxes in that bike? You have 3. You have the top box. You have now the sides. So one you put tools, one you put clothes, and then now one you put like your foodstuffs.
But I think two of those it's occupied by tools because you need spare parts, chain in case ikatike, and you need like 2 chains.
So when the chains will take the whole top box.
So you know how you guys overthink, like you never know.
Not really.
Some even travel with a gasket, like the entire thing, and spare parts, the toolbox, like for instance it's a hole with the clutch levers. Anything can just happen because you guys, what you're doing, mnaenda mnaanguka huko kwa msitu.
But that is why like adventure bikes take the folds. Azianguke tunasikia ati plastics zimevunjika, umeacha vitu kwa barabara. Like there's no so much cosmetic damages as compared to sports bikes.
Sports bikes don't have that as well.
Sport bikes have a lot of cosmetic damage. Yeah, let's just start with the plastics. Mkivunja, like now you're hearing.
They're not plastics, they're OEM. Just say OEM. If you say plastics, you make it look like it's panniers in an off-road bike.
Okay. The fairings. Let's give it a better word then.
OEM. The fairings, the OEM fairings. Yeah, but I get your point. Though, like I was saying, I it's just from my observation. These panniers, I've never seen them carrying clothes. And you just mentioned that clothes you buy on the way. And then I had Peter Wasike, and Peter Wasike said there's a system you guys have. It's called wash one, wear one. That means you, as you are like this, you carry another extra pair, just one pair. And then that means if you stop over, say in a hotel in Arusha, you wash the one you're wearing. and you sleep with the ones that you'll wear tomorrow.
But I don't even see a problem with that. That's the whole part of the adventure. The part of the adventure is not for you to live the basic life you've been living every single day. It's for you to find scenarios out there, and how will you curb that scenario and overcome it,
Some type of thrill.
How are you going to overcome that challenge? Let's say, for example, these people who don't have food, clothing, shelter, how are they able to survive?
Are you saying they're having an adventure?
Yes.
They're having an adventure?
Okay, no,
Oh
no,
my
sorry.
God, Aisha, guys.
Sorry.
If you
No,
don't have
I'm
clothes,
not
if you don't have
saying-
food, if you're suffering, you guys, you are in an adventure, man.
No,
Go off-road.
I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, I get your point.
I meant like you just need to survive in that condition, and you're trying to put yourself in some people's shoes. Not everybody can afford it, but how are you able to curb that situation? You don't have to have 1 million clothes for you to change every single day. You can survive with that the same pair as you're saying. Those 2 pair, even if you're washing, you can still survive. You can still walk.
When you're doing off-road, that is.
Yeah.
So it's an option. Like say it's an alternative.
Yeah, it's an alternative.
Okay, interesting. So the panniers can carry clothes, you're saying, and it can carry spare parts, and it can carry food on the go and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in short, if you're a lady and you want to do adventures, you have to stop being that lady who wants to high maintenance.
Exactly.
Zero.
You have to come out of your comfort zone and come into adventure zone, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be wild. And there's a quote I saw somewhere that said, if it doesn't hurt, then that's not adventure. Like if you're going for an adventure, you're going to meet so many obstacles, and it's not going to be the best ride. Trust me. It's not
So
going
you
to
shouldn't
the
be
best
careful when you're
journey.
riding.
No, I'm not
Is
saying
that what you're saying?
I'm not saying you're not supposed to be careful, but I'm saying that it's going to be a very tough journey.
You should be prepared for anything.
You should be prepared for anything, any outcome.
Well, it sounds scary. I'd rather a sport bike.
And exactly why sport bikes people are limited, guys. That is exactly why they're limited within the borders of Kenya. Here, just here in the
I don't
in
think
the
we're
straight
limited.
roads.
As long as the roads are good, we can also travel the world. The only disadvantage I see is the fact that you get tired a lot, and also we don't have panniers as much. Yeah, I kind of feel like if you choose to do long distance, a sport bike is not an option.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for some type of thrill, a sport bike can go far and it can go fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted to say, I know I'll be attacked for this, but I know an off-road can go far, but not that fast.
But that's
think like
exactly,
that.
that's why I'm saying the people who are doing off-road, they're not necessarily looking to go fast. They're going for an adventure. And you don't need to go so fast for you to experience an adventure. Just go. You're going with your own pace, because this is a destination that you're willing to see. Different stages. You're willing to see different experiences.
Different places, different things, and all
Different
that.
things, yeah.
Makes sense. So you've not ridden any other part of the world, like you've only been riding in Kenya. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what are some of the challenges you've experienced as a Kenyan biker? This question I ask everyone.
Some of
the challenges you've experienced as a Kenyan biker over the years, from the time you were a novice until now, you'd say.
Some of the challenges I have experienced is, I'd say, like, first of all, I'd say like how to get confidence in our Kenyan roads, especially when you have reckless matatu drivers like the ones we have. I feel like some of those people are the ones who give women, or rather like they make women feel like, I don't think I want to be a biker. Ndoni sukume hivi kama watu wengine wandu. Like I've had so many negative feedbacks from people, from other women, not necessarily based on their experience, but what they've seen, because they're comparing like the private bikers to boda riders. They don't think that women necessarily need to be riding bikes. It's more of a manly thing.
Yeah.
So some comments like that is really demotivating, I can say. But again, like when you see like the biker community and how it empowers people, you feel really motivated to continue, and you really see your purpose, like why you even started it in the first place. Another challenge,
that is true.
another challenge would be another challenge. Is another challenge? Another challenge would be
Traffic, no?
okay, traffic is,
That's when you maneuver and you just...
I mean, traffic is always there everywhere you go in the world, but there's nothing much you can be able to do about traffic apart from just maneuvering and knowing how, mastering the skill.
Rush hour,
Mastering the skill of how you're going to just,
What about the boda bodas?
Yes, even the boda guys, but not every boda guy necessarily. Some are really reckless, and then you find in an instance like from the last trip I was in, we were just going with our group of riders, and then a drunk boda guy swerved me, like hit me. Yes, I nearly fell from the bike, and
KTM now.
Yes, I nearly fell from the bike, and it was something just so drastic I didn't expect from it. Like, when these guys are riding, they just swerve left, right, and center. So yeah, that kind of took me off by surprise, and I can see why the government is really like enforcing these guys to get like licenses, because how they're riding in these roads, it's quite bad.
Another group of boda riders, even though they're a bit decent kidogo, they're these guys with the GS. You know how they go, they overtake from the left and then they just spit at the bushes. They own every road. That's what they think. Maram, Tamak, Zote, inakwanga barabara yao. But do you really think there's ever going to be a change? Implementation, for instance, about the behavior of matatu drivers, boda, some of them.
I mean, like, change comes from someone. Them themselves have to make that initiative. You can't
all
change.
Of them.
If they wanted to, they could, but they just choose to be rebellious. So I don't think there would be a change. I don't really think there'd be a change if they.
You're saying our children will experience the same thing and our grandchildren will experience the same thing.
I feel like so. If that's what I'm saying, if the matatu guys, if the boda guys are not willing to have an initiative themselves to change this, then there would not be any change. Even if it is implemented by the government, how much?
Even if it becomes law and it's enforced.
How don't we currently have laws? And how many people choose to abide by the laws and how many people choose not to abide? There'll always be those rebellious people. Not everybody is going to abide by the law.
And those few are the ones who are causing all this.
Exactly. They're the ones who are making the whole nation not to have that whole change.
So in a short span of 5 years, say that you've been riding,
Mm-hmm.
do you see any difference from then when you were learning and now? In the biking community in general?
Like changes in the biking community, or
and you also in general.
Yes, of course there's a lot of changes. Are you talking about like positive changes?
Any positive, negative, whichever. It's all.
Yes, like I can say in the biking community there's a lot of change that has been there. There's a lot of like in our nyumba kumi, there's always discussions about road safety.
Oh yeah, by the
yeah. So that is a really big.
It's a positive.
Yeah, that's a really big positive change. It teaches all the new bikers who are coming in the community what to do, what not to do. Always to be cautious. Remember, you're the one who's supposed to be cautious for the other person, because you don't know what the other person is thinking, or you don't even know if that other person cares about you yourself as the rider. So you are supposed to be cautious. And yeah, there's always a lot of encouragement, a lot of events to curb awareness for riding. So yeah, I can say
it's interesting. Talking of nyumba kumis, but there again, back to the question of you women rep. Where are you going to set up your offices?
Offices?
Cindy, for the women rep, where a girl can just come and walk in and say, "This is what I want." But also, like I mentioned, you'll be representing Thika Road, to be specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll have offices per se, but if it develops to something big, why not? Like have like something like
Alafu
that.
katalie kiti.
Ala-
Kenyan style.
No, I do want other women to have this position, and then they also carry forward like the things we'll be doing and empowering other women to also join into biking, because you never know. Maybe I've so many girls I can say they've approached me and they've wanted to do biking. They always ask, what's the first step? The first step I always say is just, if you don't have any person who's related into biking, I can always connect you to some coaches who teach people how to ride bikes, and they'll advise you from there what bike to get as a beginner. And yeah, and it progresses like that. Then now you join nyumba kumi, you get to meet other bikers. From there you get to go for group meetups, learn about different different roles that these people are doing in the society. And yeah,
To boost the confidence.
exactly,
in general,
yeah.
And so would you involve men if they were interested to come and join your initiatives?
The same thing. I mean,
Even though it's a women rep, it's a women thingy.
why not? I mean, I believe men also advocate for women empowerment. I'm not saying all of them, but majority do, and that's also a good initiative. And if they would also like to join, why not? It's open for
Especially
everyone.
to offer like training and all
Yeah,
that.
it's open for everyone to
That's a
learn.
good idea. It's a good idea. I'm really looking forward to see what you can achieve and
Yeah.
living. What do they call it? Living something positive by
Yeah.
the time your tenure is over.
Yeah.
And then we see what happens with the women and. If there'll be a change, of course, if that's
I'm
position,
hoping-
if
I'm
that position
hoping.
will still exist,
Yeah.
you're actually the first women rep of Thika Road Nyumba Kumi, because actually Thika Road Nyumba Kumi, I think it's the only group, the Nyumba Kumi group with
A lot of people.
a lot of bikers.
Yeah.
I believe we are now over 350.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot.
Because someone told me Thika Road stretches from Ngara to Nyeri.
Yeah, that's quite.
So anyone
who lives alone,
Murang'a,
you're
Imo, Kenol,
considered. Yeah,
you're considered someone who lives along Thika Road, and you can be added. And
Yeah.
as time went by, I've seen there's been a lot of growth. I've seen during the meetups we used to be like 30 people, 40
yeah,
people. These days
yeah. Now it's a lot.
it's over 100. So I really think you have a very, very big responsibility
Yeah.
that will be coming your way.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for girls who are willing to join the biking community, who are willing to become bikers out there? Or those who are still there, or they lack confidence and some motivation?
One advice I'd give them is that everyone starts from somewhere, and it depends if you're willing to try or not. Just because somebody has a bike doesn't mean you should also get a bike and then become a biker. I didn't start with a bike. I started by going to places, let's say for example like visiting the garage, meeting people here and there, getting to find out how these people started, asking for advice. Do you know people who can teach how to ride? Get people who can help you like learn how to ride. Before you know it, see, or rather get advice for which type of bike you need to start with. If it is affordable, if you're saving to it, continue saving towards it and then get your own bike. Or if you're financially stable, you can get your own bike and then now join a nyumba kumi around where the area you live in. Or even you could even ask like at the garages. I know so many bikers there know about the nyumba kumis, and they'll always help you out. Yeah.
And would you advise any other girl to start on a 600cc like the way you did?
No.
Why is that? But you started and you managed and you...
I mean, like for my experience, it was either the 600cc at the time or an S1000, and I wasn't able to ride the S1000 at the time.
So both options you were given, they were just too heavy.
They were just too hectic. It was just a very hectic situation, I can just say.
So did you really face any challenges to say that you wouldn't advise any other lady to start on a 600?
Yes, I did face a challenge. First of all, that bike, it's a really heavy bike. Even just removing it putting it straight from the stand, like just to remove the stand, it was a big challenge. But again, I was asking myself, if this bike was yours, what would you do? Would you keep calling people for help to remove it for you on the stand? How would you manage if it was your own bike? So I just took the courage, did what I could.
Ukutaka kwenda gym instead?
That now I found out about going to gym like years later after now discovering the adventure bikes.
Oh, now adventure itakufunza.
So now you need the
leg work.
Yeah, exactly.
So heavy is one of the challenges. Any other?
The speed as well. I mean, like that bike.
But you control your speed.
That's the thing. If you're riding it in a calm manner, you're able to control yourself. But one panic move, that bike could kill you. It is always all in your mind, how you're able to control that bike, because that bike doesn't have its mind. It is you.
You're in control.
You're the one in control. So the moment you just panic, that's it. You end up opening the throttle, and then before you know it, you've hit the bush. You're just going and going. You don't even know if you're going to be alive or not.
But with training, that's not supposed to happen.
But with training, that's not going to happen. Training with the right bike, I didn't start with the right bike. I can fully say that. But training with the right bike will for sure, like, you can, after training with the right bike for a while, you can be able to ride any bike basically.
Should be easy.
Yeah, should be easy from there. Once you get the control of it, yeah.
So you'd recommend a slow start, like nothing wrong with starting from with a 150cc as you upscale.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Just I'm looking in terms of accident wise, because this is something that is motorized. You can easily panic. I've seen it in motocross. I've done it myself, and that's how I got a leg injury. I panicked and opened the throttle too much, and I ended up fracturing my knee.
Fractured your knee?
Yeah.
You have plates?
I did.
You did have plates?
Yes, and then they were removed just so that the bones could mesh together.
To be able to bend and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, when was this?
This was in 2021. Yeah, September in 2021.
Oh man! So you're in crutches also for?
Yes. For I think like 5-6 months.
Yeah, someone was saying that's how you graduate.
Yeah,
But there's some people who've never had such. So they're yet to graduate.
They're yet to graduate.
So even if they started 10 years ago,
they're yet to graduate.
They're
yet to graduate.
That's interesting. Seems like it was a very crazy experience. Yeah?
It was really crazy. At first, I didn't even know I had broken anything. I just assumed it's just like the basic falls that you have, until like my knee started swelling a lot. Like I could tell the difference, like what's not
After
happening.
how long?
It was just the same day, but then now the next day, it became really big. Really big. Like I was even surprised. It was so swollen. It was red. I didn't seek for medical advice. That was very wrong. I should have gone to hospital immediately after that fall.
After the fall.
But I took around 3 days before I could go to the hospital when it became
And you have
worse.
a fracture.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time.
So you're just feeling the pain, and
I was just feeling the pain. Like I couldn't step down. I couldn't even walk with this leg itself, like both legs. I needed support, like 2 people to support me to walk. And then I went to the hospital, did some x-rays. In fact, I went to a sports doctor. He tried to flex my knee. He's saying I'm having too much trouble. So he sent me to hospital to have some x-rays. And then that's when they discovered I actually had a fracture in this lower bone towards the joint.
Was it a big fracture or no?
It was like a partial fracture, but it's not something that you can be able to walk with and put weight on, because the minute you start putting weight towards it, it could have fractured the whole bone.
That's crazy. Because actually you are at risk of getting an infection.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it's very advisable that whenever if you're a biker out there and you get your fall, the best thing is if you're experiencing any pain, it's advisable you just go for checkup.
Exactly.
You go and get checked to avoid
and always having the
worse.
proper gear. That's very important.
Gearing is very important, by the way.
That is very important, because your gear from your head to toe could save your life. and I don't even know how many times I can insist on like proper
Yeah,
gear.
everyone normally insists on gears, all the gears, all the time.
People just say, "Oh, that helmet is very expensive. I don't think I should buy it. Let me buy this one.
Let me buy a GoPro.
Let me buy let me buy a GoPro at least." Yeah, I mean, without this helmet, like you don't know if you're going to end up alive or not.
You won't have a head.
You won't even have a head.
But it takes some experience to know or to learn this. Actually, most of the bikers that I've interviewed and I've interacted with, including me, I started with buying gears first. I bought gears first and then I got the bike. No, I got the bike, but it was not working properly. So while the bike was being fixed, I was shopping for gears. So I bought my helmet and then I shipped some of the jackets and stuff like that as I waited for the knee. And it really came through big time. So gearing, I think it's a very important thing to do as not only as a private biker, like for anyone, even cyclists, people who cycle.
Any sporting activity that you're doing that is putting you at risk, it's always advised for you to have protection.
And your injury, you had knee guards on and stuff like that. But
I had knee guards, but I wouldn't say they were proper knee guards. I should have
legit.
After the accident, let's say for a while when I started working with Off-Road Adventure, they really insisted me to get certain knee guards called the EVS. They're really, some of them are carbon fiber, some of them are metallic. So there's a way that knee guard really protects your knees. Yes, those knee guards flex, but there's a way they really protect your knees that even if you have whatever fall with your knees, you're less likely to have like an injury on your leg area.
I'm sure they're expensive.
They're very expensive.
How much are they?
They cost roughly between 45 to 50,000 per pair.
That's for off-road.
Yes.
You know that's the price for a GoPro. That's good for content. I mean,
if you're talking about content and saving your life, I mean, I'd rather save my knees and my ability to walk.
Yeah, that is true. And this kind of the knee guard, is it only for off-road? Or anyone can wear it? Because I understand off-road gears are different from the sport bike.
Yes, they're different. That one, I don't think you can be able to wear them when you're riding a sports bike. Though I've not tried. Maybe you can try. Though I've not tried.
What would you think the difference is? Why?
Just like how would I say, like how you're flexing your knees. You know, this one is a lot of movement, but that one is just one like when you're sitting on a sports bike, it's just like one position throughout your riding, and maybe it could give you like a muscle cramp on your knee. Maybe that's what I'm saying. I'm not so sure. Maybe if it's vice versa, but I know for off-road bikers, yes, it's
sure thing.
Yeah.
Subject for research. Okay, so how long did it take you to heal?
Let's say a year. It has taken me a year to heal, but again, it has side effects because it has never gone back the same way. Like in terms of, I can't put on high heels because I can feel like there's so much pressure on the knee.
Baby girl vibes gone.
Yes.
Nothing like that anymore. Any slippers.
Climbing stairs, like just doing activities that just involve like my feet, like running on the treadmill too fast. Like you can just feel like you're putting too much pressure on the knee. Yeah.
After all those years, you remove the plates
comes.
After 1 year, you said.
Yeah. So the ache still comes after a while.
And you still chose off-road. You want to climb a mountain with your bike.
And I still chose off-road regardless.
Do you feel like biking is a curse?
Not really.
People just go down and then they go back and go even harder.
Not really. In fact, after that fall, I got so much encouragement from other people, and I realized that it's not only me who's been through an accident. Even MotoGP people, even Dakar people have been through accidents, and
they're well geared and insured, you know.
But you see, even them, they didn't stop there. Just because you have an injury doesn't mean that it should stop you from continuing your passion.
So if you have an injury and you stop, what does that make you?
It just makes you look like you gave up on something that you really wanted to develop, and you didn't know what it was going to make you to become. You know, maybe it was going to boost your confidence in the future. You never know, like where this biking thing is going to take you. Yeah.
It's it's going to take you to the hospital.
No. No.
Yeah, it takes you there first and then it takes you there again.
It
Like,
takes
that's
you to
the-
different places.
Yeah. Today hospital, tomorrow
Adventure,
the mountain.
a new place.
You just have to pray and hope that you go to the place that you inspire to go.
Exactly.
Because sometimes it's not every time you get what you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that is interesting. But I'm glad you, even despite the injury, you still got motivated.
Yeah.
And your motivation, you said, is what? You just motivate yourself. You inspire yourself to do.
I'm not. Pardon?
Like, what inspires you, motivates you? To,
What motivates me
to keep going? Like, despite it, for example, the injury. I know there are some who would quit, who would just say, I've had enough of this.
What motivates
I
me
tried.
to ride is the passion for it. I've seen how it's given me a lot of confidence in myself. Like even when I drive a car, it's given me so much confidence. Like I can overtake easily. Like before, I used to just be like,
You can overtake in a car.
Huh?
You overtake in a car just the same way you do in a bike.
Yes, I can.
So you can then split with your car.
Not really lane split, but yes, I can overtake like with the slow cars. But I'm just saying it gives you a certain confidence that I wasn't, or rather I didn't know where to get that confidence from. Like I didn't know who's going to, push me. Like you can do this, go to certain speeds and be comfortable with it. Go to certain places, certain terrains, certain conditions and be comfortable in it and be able to believe in yourself that yes, you can pass this place. Like you've done it before, like why should it be a problem now?
But you're not a speed junkie, Aisha, are you?
No.
What's the maximum speed you've done?
Maximum speed, I would say maybe like one.
That's breaking the law.
Not faster than that. No.
On the KTM, is it?
On the KTM, I've done one. On other bikes, maximum is like nothing more.
So the
than
600, I'm assuming you did on that.
No, I did not even go with the 600 that fast. No.
What was the maximum?
I think like 60. I didn't even go fast with that bike. Just because I was so scared of it.
That's like takeoff speed. To some bikers.
So for me,
Like, ukiwasha bike hiyo ni wanatoka nayo.
as I said, for me, I wasn't. For me, it's not even about speed. It's just like
I get your point. For you, it's adventure.
exactly.
And going out there, falling, picking it up, starting again.
Yes.
That's really interesting. Okay, Sasa, so what's your closing remarks to people out there, or to yourself, or to anyone, anything you wish to say?
I'd like to advise people to join biking. I mean, like
Everyone
everyone
in Kenya.
Everyone in Kenya, please join biking. It is a venture that you never know the thrill until you try it yourself. Like you can hear it from someone, but until you experience it, as he said, you'll never get to know how biking really feels. I know people have so many theoretical things about accident. Accident is always there. Accident can happen to anyone. But the question is, are you willing to take the risk?
Yeah, tell them how it's therapeutical as well.
It is very therapeutic.
Like wind is therapy, speed is no, okay. Speed is good. Speed is just speed. Adventure is thrilling.
Yeah,
and all that.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's something that you'd encourage, and also the women, tell them they shouldn't be afraid.
Yes, to all women, please try it. For those who've always wanted to try, please do try. You can always feel free to reach out on my page called Karma on Instagram. Send me a message, and yeah.
Now that you're the women rep, and not only the women rep of Thika Road Nyumba Kumi, she's also willing to help any other woman who's out there. If for example you're a lady and you want to know how to fix your bike, she's got links to a garage. She can hook you up definitely, and you can get to learn a lot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just feel free to slide in her DM and make your call. Tell her what you need. It's a really good initiative, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I can't wait to see women fixing the bikes.
Yes.
I'm sure there are other women who know how to fix their own bikes. Like I had Wamuyu in the podcast.
Yeah.
And she told me when she was traveling with her husband across the world, there was a time the husband just told her, you know what, me, I'm tired. I cannot fix two bikes. You fix your own bike. na akamfunza. And
Yeah.
ever since she's learned and she knows how to fix her own
Yeah.
bike. So I think it's a very good initiative, and at the end of the day, even if it's something you cannot be able to fix yourself, you kind of have an idea
Exactly.
on what is happening,
Yeah.
and you can learn how to maneuver around the problems, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Good idea. So reach out to her. She's here, she's open, and she's ready to help you guys out.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Any other closing remarks?
That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one.